Here's when you need an employment agreement versus an independent contractor agreement. I'm going to break it down for you because it's very important. There are major consequences for getting this wrong, so it's a major hot button issue for me. I had a client once who caught an employee stealing from the company in writing. Obviously, they terminated him, but they still had to pay him well over $100,000 plus legal fees to go away, all because they misclassified him as an independent contractor instead of as an employee. The law here is black and white. It can vary by state, but if you misclassify someone as a contractor when the law says they're an employee, courts may force you to pay that employee 2 to 3 times what you would have paid them as a minimum wage employee, or more. This can add up to big numbers, like it did for my client. We negotiated a good settlement, but it was still a costly mistake. So how do you know whether someone is an employee or contractor? There are a few factors to consider. Do they have other sources of income? Do they get to decide when to work and where to work? Do they use their own equipment to provide the services? Are they paid on a project basis or on a recurring monthly or biweekly basis like an employee? How do you treat them for payroll taxes? If they have more control and autonomy over how they work, where, when, etc., if they use their own tools or if they have other sources of income and you pay them on a project basis, then they're most likely to qualify as contractors. But if you tell them when to work, where to work, if they report to a boss or they have no other sources of income, and you pay them every other week like an employee, then they're probably an employee. Of course, it's not always that clean. So it's best to work with good counsel to set clear guidelines to help you and your team determine when someone is an employee versus an independent contractor. That way you can stay out of trouble and continue to grow your team securely.